Here's a look at the new Vintage Collection Gaming Greats Umbra Operative. So here it is, the last ARC Trooper in this Gaming Greats wave that we need to take a look at. We've already looked at the other two on the channel, those videos will be linked in the description, and this one, if we flip around quickly to the back, we can see is VC237 in the line. We can see that it lists a couple other Gaming Greats figures that came out as part of this wave, and if we flip back around to the front, we can see that this card back actually takes place on Naboo. The other two ARC Trooper card backs took place on Kamino, and those both looked really good, but I have to say that this one is probably my favorite. The look of Naboo at dawn or dusk looks really amazing, and I love how bright all the warm lights are in the background. Taking a look at the figure in the bubble, it looks pretty amazing. Like the other ARC Troopers that we've taken a look at, I'm glad that they packaged this thing with the helmet off so you can get a look at the face sculpt underneath, and I think it looks really good in that bubble with all the weapons as well. I also love seeing the realistic design of ARC Troopers on these card backs. ARC Troopers are something that we most commonly saw in the Clone Wars, and it was really cool to see Battlefront 2 adapt them into a realistic style. So now we're seeing that style on a card back, and it looks pretty great. But enough talking about the card back of this thing, let's go ahead and get it opened up. Here it is out of the box, and I have to say that this one is maybe the most striking of all three of them. It's not very often we get a clone trooper whose armor is almost all black, and it's really cool anytime we do see that. I love all the paintwork with those kind of amber colored highlights. I think they stand out very nicely against that black paint and give this thing a really cool look. Now, like we've said before, this sculpt is a repaint of the one we saw in the 501st Legion ARC Trooper 3-pack. That sculpt looks great, so I really take no issue with them repainting it here, and especially when they give it such a unique paint job. If we take a look under the helmet, we can once again see that amazing clone face sculpt. It's the same one that we've seen on the other ARC Troopers that we looked at, but I have no complaints with it. It looks amazing every time. Putting the helmet back on, we can see that the rangefinder once again is posable. Again, I love seeing that, and having a posable rangefinder is my expectation now on any TVC figures we get. Moving down the body, I want to point out how good that accessory piece with the pauldron and backpack is. It's molded as all one piece, and it looks really amazing. If we flip around to the backpack, you can see that the blaster can actually fit into the backpack and has a peg on the side of it that's used to slide in and out. While we're talking about the accessories, all the blasters look really nice in this gunmetal gray paint job that they gave them. It's a color that I prefer over the straight black paint that they'll sometimes use on them, although I do wish that we could get blaster accessories with a little more dynamic painting on it, something like painted grips or weathering. The blaster pistols fit nicely into the holsters that we can see on the sides of the comma, and the comma is maybe the one complaint that I have about this sculpt. It isn't unique to this figure, it's a problem we've seen on the other ARC Troopers that have used this design, but the comma is a molded piece, it is not soft goods. Because of that, you can't really utilize the articulation that comes in the legs because they're blocked in by that mold. I think the figure still looks good in the poses that you are able to get it in, but I do wish that you were able to move those legs a little bit more. Luckily, it does have rocker ankles, so you can get this thing into some pretty nice poses either way. Taking one last look at the figure as a whole, I just want to say how pleased I am with this recent wave of Gaming Greats figures. Even though it was just 3 straight repaints of the same sculpt, even with the same face sculpt underneath, I was more than happy to see it. They are great clone troopers, and I'm really happy that we got them. For another look at this figure, more figures, vehicles, and playsets from across the Star Wars lines, be sure to check out the Jedi Collector on Instagram. Link will be in the description.